Go live on Facebook. We'll be getting started momentarily. It's gonna take just a minute. Hope you're doing well and enjoying the weekend so far. Okay, I think we're live on Facebook. Hi everybody, good afternoon. Sami Abu Saad here. I'm Director of Education at T3 Live. Welcome to today's video, this weekend's edition of the Strategic Swing Trader. We're gonna be going over the market, and then we'll go over some swing ideas for next week. We will also be going over Bitcoin, which I called long last week. But before I start, I have to tell you that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. Okay? Another thing I want to say is, if you find benefit in today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you have any other ideas, swing ideas, suggestions, feel free, and I'll take a look at the comments after the video. I appreciate it. Let's get started. First, the market. We have an unbelievably bullish market. I thought last week we could potentially have like a what did I call it? A head and shoulders. Obviously, that's not a real head and shoulders pattern, but kind of a micro head and shoulders pattern. And we did gap down, but we ended up getting bought. So the bearish bias there didn't really work. Now we are back up, all-time highs, still extended. So while the market is bullish, we could come in. It's all about watching for the signs, in my opinion. The market is up, but extended, so we could see a pullback. We just need to see the hourly. You see that how that 20 MA on the hourly chart is all out uptrending. So we just want to see the market fail on a buy setup, like if we get bought on Monday and then fail, or if the market were to base for a while, the 20 period moving average will flatten out and start to point down. That could also do it. I'll show you an example of a play that I'm actually still in from a couple weeks ago. Notice how it was in a bullish uptrend, FTSV, but notice how it started to base, the 20 MA flattened out, started to point down. That's what we want to see. If we can get something like this on the Qs, then we should be able to pull back. But without getting the moving average to flatten out a little bit, this is an all-out rising 20, so without getting the moving average to flatten out a little bit, it's going to be hard to see a pullback. Having said all of that, this is not the time to be starting a long position. I mean, we're going to go over the swing watch list. You can play swing for a few days, but it's not a good time to be starting a long-term trade long. If we get a pullback, then maybe. So we'll see. I'm taking it day by day, week by week. But any sign that the market, on the hourly chart, that the market is failing to go higher, I will turn a little bearish, okay, and expect to see a pull and look for a pullback. So that's my take on the market. I'll give you an update on Bitcoin right now before I forget. Remember last week Bitcoin was basing right here as a transition A, and I showed you my position also. I said I'm playing Bitcoin long. It was only $50, I think, later than where I got it, and it shot up $1,000 pretty much. It shot up $1,000. Actually, it shot up over $1,000 from my entry, and now pulled back on Friday, so yesterday, went back up to today. Was that today or yesterday? Yesterday. It's a 24-hour market, so that's why I'm thinking, but it had a pullback and then went back up. As a swing trade, it reached target, which was the declining 20 on the weekly chart, as discussed last week. See this? Declining 20 on the weekly. That's target already as a swing trade. Now, as a long-term trade, if you're playing the monthly chart, I'll show you the monthly chart of Bitcoin. The monthly just triggered long. Okay, the monthly just triggered the buy setup. How did it trigger? By taking out the last bar's high. Notice on the way back, on the way down, not a single prior bar's high got taken out, and finally it did right here. So it just triggered on the monthly. Do I think it's gonna go right back up to here? No, I think it's gonna go up. Gonna come back down. It's gonna give you another entry if you didn't get it, is what I'm trying to say. If you didn't get in already, I did, but if you didn't get in already, it's gonna give us plenty of other entries. So I would wait for the W pattern to form. Here's the initial move up, pull back, move up, and then maybe we get a W pattern right off the rising 20 MA. So mark my word, that's probably what's going to end up happening over the next few months. And I'm going to be looking to add to my position because I only have 1.5 Bitcoins. That's not a lot. It's up $1,500, but it's still, not a lot. So I'd like to add on a pullback. And I'd like to also get into some other altcoins. The big five are Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ether, and Ripple. So they're starting to heat up, especially Litecoin, I think. But I'm only in Bitcoin at the moment. All right? But I do like it as a long-term play. All right. So hopefully I was able to give you an update on Bitcoin. And now we're going to talk about the swing positions. If you're just tuning in, welcome. We're just getting started. I said the market remains bullish, but I'm looking for a sign that it topped. And if I get it, then I'll be quick to change bias to bearish. Okay? Last week I thought we might get a head and shoulders pattern. Again, I'm just calling it a head and shoulders for lack of a better word. Here's the left shoulder, right shoulder, and then here, the head and then the right shoulder, sort of. But it didn't really, we gapped down and then it got bought in the same day. It didn't really trigger and set up nicely. If we can get the 20 MA on the hourly to flatten out, then I'll be looking for a pullback on the daily chart of the Qs or the SPY. They both look pretty much identical. So for now, let's go over the swing plays for next week. We have CTST is a transition A. A lot of these transition A plays that we discussed last week, such as the NLS. Remember NLS last week? I showed you the daily. I showed you the weekly, which was also transitioning. Do you remember that? It exploded. It's up like 75% or so. Amazing, amazing move. A lot of the transition A plays have exploded higher, especially biotech stocks. CTST hasn't yet. So we have a buy set up here. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the BLCM from just a couple days ago, which already reached target. But you see it? Pull back. Notice the rounding bottom on the hourly chart. I think this was good. CTST, similar. Not as good, but similar. Over the base right here. Stop under it. Long. Fitch. I like it higher. I was in it and I got shaken out. And I'd like to get back in as an hourly base breakout. I will be playing the Fitch if it triggers. If you're in the SST program, if you're a subscriber, you can log on to your T3 Live account right now and see which ones I am playing on Monday. I intend to play on Monday. Fitch is one of them, just so you know. HZMP is at all-time highs and is a breakout. Not my favorite, but take a look at that hourly chart. That's pretty good. It's been basing for a couple weeks at least. So it looks good higher. HZMP. I is a transition A plus a 1, 2, 3. I was actually in it and I trailed it at 719, which was just under this bar's low or under the base. Got out of it, killed it. I lost 1 penny. Actually, I had 2 positions in it, 2 entries. One position I made a penny, and then the other position I lost a couple of pennies. So break even-ish trade. But notice how it went back up and now has a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and then if it takes out the doji bar on Monday, that will trigger a 1, 2, 3 play. Okay, so I like it higher. KRTX exploded a couple months ago. Not even a couple months ago. It was just a $16 stock. Went to 150, 152, and pulled back a lot. Is it ready to go back up? I'm not quite sure, but take a look at that hourly chart. If we break above or break out of that base, then I think we will see a move back up. Maybe to 86. I'm not expecting it to go back up to 150. Not in this month, not in the next, maybe not in 2020. Okay? But I do think it goes up to 86. So I like the KRTX higher. LB is a transition A on the daily. Wasn't able to figure out a way in it. But I'd like to get in it. I mean, it looks good. It's just that it's already up 2 green bars in a row. Our weekly is also a transition A. Not too bad. I like it. LSCC is a breakout and is a 1, 2, 3, 4 on the daily chart. Notice basing also on the weekly, on the monthly. So it's been basing for a while. So I like it higher. I'd like to see the 20 catch up a little bit more, but LSCC, in my opinion, isn't too bad. Long over the all-time high, stop just under the first red bar's low. So over 2183, stop under 2090. Marines is a daily buy setup. Okay, notice this was a transition A not too long ago. Right here, the buy setup broke out, another buy setup, so not bad. Marines as a buy setup. PWR reminds me a little bit of the KRTX, building a rounding bottom on the daily, probably weekly. It is a weekly buy setup if you look at the weekly chart. So that's just a weekly buy setup. Monthlies at all-time highs, almost with a pullback. So I like it. I like it. And last but not least is VG, which is a transition A on the daily chart. Okay, it got resistance above right here, so that's the only thing that I don't love about it. But over the base, stop below it. So under the hourly base, stop above it. I use the hourly chart for my entries mostly, and the daily for finding the patterns. If you're enjoying the video, be sure to hit the like button. Also, I'll say that at the end. Also, on Tuesday at 4:30, we are going to be talking about how to put together a watch list. Okay, I'm hearing sirens in the background. I don't know if you can hear them, but we are going to be talking about how to put together a daily watch list and a long-term watch list, and we're going to be using this system over here, which is TC2000. So Tuesday at 4:30 or so, be sure to tune in for that video, live video. DXC is a daily sell setup, not bad at all. The only thing that I don't like about it is the weekly. We got the 20 MA below. I'm hearing the sirens. I apologize about the background noise, but that's what happens when you live in a city, in a high-rise, I guess. So, all right. So under this green bar's low, looks lower under 35.50. GOSS just so weak, gap down a huge amount, and it's been basing, which is nice. So I like it under the base, all-time lows, no support to the left, under the base, stop over the top and tails. We currently, in the SST newsletter, we currently have the con short. It's been, I probably mentioned it, I'm sure I mentioned it last week. I mentioned it also on the breakdown. I didn't do it on the breakdown. I did it on the 1, 2, 3 breakdown. Got it? So this is an open play for strategic swing trader members. Short right here, stop over the bars. I was gonna say this reminds me of the GOSS a little bit because it's based and it's got these narrow body bars, but doesn't really look exactly the same. MKTX went climactic. Check out the monthly. Just look at this monster move up, unbelievable. I was like, what does this company do? MKTX. I've never heard of them. So I looked them up. They make trading platforms or trading related solutions for Wall Street. That's what they do for institutional traders. Unbelievable. Look at this. 2010 was a $9 stock. 2009 was an $8 stock. $4 stock the year before it. Unbelievable. From $4, look at this, to 420. Topped out, went climactic. We have a lower high right here on the MKTX. So I do like it lower, back down to maybe 300. By the time the stock drops, moving average will have caught up. But I do think we topped out on the MKTX. You know, I don't have it on the list. I don't show you everything on the list. I just show you what I think is most ready for Monday. ENPH, which I played 3 times, I think, in 2019, all profitable. And now it went climactic, just like the MKTX did. And now it is retesting. So I kind of like it short. It actually triggered on Friday, believe it or not. Triggered on Friday. But I'm not in it. I'd like to find a way in the ENPH. MOV is a weekly sell setup. This was an earnings play for me right here. We're starting earnings season. This was kind of at the end of last earnings season. Short into earnings, right into declining 20. Gap down, I don't know how much, 27% I think. Beautiful play. We have a weekly sell setup now. So MOV looks lower off the weekly chart. PTI. Triggered already, but I don't think it's too late as a short. Entry for this would be under 187. Stop over 217. I know it's $1.80, but I don't care. All I care about is the price of the stock. Looks lower to the 200 MA. PTI. SCRV is a beautiful base breakdown plus a 1, 2, 3, 4. So short right here under the base, stop right here, or we could even use this as a stop. Gorgeous looking SERV. short. Weekly is good too. Beautiful, beautiful, love it. SERV. And guess what? Tesla of all plays is went climactic and may have topped out. For now, I said multiple times in the room, in the strategic day trader room, if you're in it, you know I said that multiple times, that Tesla is going to 600. I didn't mean by January it would be at 500. I meant sometime in 2020. I said probably goes to 600. So already almost there. Not quite, but you get the point. It doubled in the last few months. Amazing. I played it as an earnings play this day. T3 sent out an email because it was a big one. I was in New York with the mentorship students. Somebody made $20,000 on it. I made $43.79 to be exact, but somebody made $20,000 on it. A student of mine at the mentorship in New York in October. So October 23rd was the entry. October 24th was the exit. Thought about keeping it, but you know, my earnings play, I get in at the close the day before earnings. The next day I get out at the open. Pretty much 90% of the plays are exited at the open the next day, and from there it's doubled. Amazing. I have to say, it printed that wide range bar. It wasn't so wide. That's the only issue that I don't like about it, is that this bar isn't so wide. I like him to be at least twice the average size bar. This, you can say, is twice. Would have been better if it was bigger, but it may have topped out for now. Didn't mean to do that. It may have topped out for now. So here's the entry for Tesla, short under the base, just under these 2 bars lows. Got it? If you want. It's tough, I know. And then I'd expect a pullback to minor support. The prior pivot high in an uptrend is called minor support. That's probably where the 20 will be at. Okay, so that's what I like to do on Tesla. And then ENPH, I added it to talk about that it potentially topped out on a retest. I mean, I know it topped out last year, and now on a retest. I mentioned it because of the MKTX, that it basically did the same. It's retesting on the monthly, and is already triggering, almost hasn't triggered yet. And so the ENPH is similar. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, as I said, please be sure to hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Maybe leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite ideas are, what you're looking to do. Feel free. No trolls, please. Just all positive vibes. And if you enjoyed what I do, you want to find out more about what I do, check out the links in the description. T3 is actually limiting membership or subscription to the earnings engine. I'm dead serious. They are, because we already have well over 400 members in the strategic swing trader, and they're going to close the subscription for the earnings engine class, which teaches you how to play earnings. So feel free to take advantage, but I'm dead serious. They are going to shut it down probably by the end of next week. So feel free to take advantage. Link in the description. You can also watch my video on how I made $87,000 in just one day last earnings season. That was my second best day ever. I thought I would exceed 100K that day, which would have been my best day, but I didn't. But hey, it was great. Feel free to watch that video in the description. And as I said, feel free to comment, hit the like button if you liked it, hit the down button, give me a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Feel free, whatever you want. But I want to say until Tuesday, when I'll be doing a video on how to use TC2000 to generate a daily and a long-term watch list. I am Sami Abu Saad, Director of Education at T3 Live. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. I am out.